What up? I'm B and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things true crime and current events. Today I'm in a little bit of a different environment, if you couldn't tell. I am actually on vacation. I'm in Las Vegas. It is literally one of my favorite cities in the world, one of my favorite places to be. So today we're going to be talking about some of the strangest laws that exist here in Vegas. The first one is that there are no camels allowed on highways. So the Nevada area, Las Vegas area, used to belong to Mexico, and then in the early 1800s, some Mormons started moving into the area, Las Vegas specifically, and it was because there was a good water source here. So they come in, they start setting up, creating a home here, and then eventually, in 1859, gold was discovered, and so tons more people started just coming in droves. They all wanted to be here. They wanted to be part of the gold rush. They wanted to become rich. And when they came in to do this, it requires a lot of equipment and all that, and so they put all of their cargo on camels, and it just created a huge problem. So they had to create a law that no camels were allowed on highways. And I know it's kind of like, what kind of highways? Because this is the 1800s. Not a typical freeway that you would expect to see now, but like they did have these main roads that were considered highways that people were to use to travel. And so that's what it refers to, but it is still a law that exists to this day. The next really strange law is that no hula hoops are allowed on Fremont Street. And so if you are in Las Vegas, Fremont Street is kind of like the OG area for big casinos, for mobsters, for gambling. Like all the hotels and stuff are a lot older than what's considered Las Vegas now, like on the Strip. So you have the Strip right here, and then kind of at the end, a little bit further away, is Fremont Street. And apparently it was just causing a ton of problems. Like people are always kind of trying to sell stuff out on the street, and so they'll have like toys and games and all that, but they don't really have any permits, and the city was trying to figure out a way to lessen the amount of people who were out there selling. They couldn't really shut it down completely, but a lot of these vendors were selling hula hoops, and it was just causing a huge problem because people are hula hooping in the middle of the street, and it's causing people to not be able to walk. Like it's taking up, thinking about bunches of people hula hooping in the middle of a walkway where people are trying to get into restaurants and go shopping and all that stuff. It's just not good. So while they couldn't shut down all the vendors completely, they did ban hula hoops. Supposedly there are specific sections, like designated areas for people who want to hula hoop. I don't know where they are. I haven't seen them, but if you're coming out here, you're trying to get your hula hoop on, I don't know, call the city council, be like, where's my designated area? Because I got to get this done. The next weird law in Las Vegas is that you are not allowed to do short-term home rentals. And this is because, so Vegas is like here, there's the Strip, but then all around it are homes. Like people live here, it's a residential area, and a lot of neighbors were having problems with people in their neighborhood renting out homes to bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, people coming up for the weekend, and it just being super loud, super inconvenient, and not a good time. So now you are not allowed to rent a home for less than 30 days. You can do a month-to-month basis, but it has to be that minimum. And it might seem like this is kind of a hard law to enforce. How would they really know? You can kind of do whatever you want as long as you're not causing a ruckus, but somebody was actually fined $29,000 recently because they did one of these illegal short-term rentals. So be careful. You are allowed to do like one room in your home you can rent, but the owner has to be there while the person who's renting that room is there. And you can't have more than one like Airbnb type room within 660 square feet of another. And so there are some exceptions, but in general, I don't know, to play it on the safe side, I'd probably just get a hotel. The next super weird law that I totally get, but it's kind of crazy that they had to make it a law, is that you're not allowed to feed pigeons. And that was actually a pretty big problem last year coming into this year. Tourists, I'm assuming, because it's like specifically on the Strip, they're feeding these pigeons, and once you feed the pigeons, more and more are going to come, and people were really concerned because obviously if you feed them, they're gonna poop, and if they're pooping in an area where a ton of people are and more pigeons are coming in, it could be a really big health risk. And so they ended up passing a law that it is illegal to feed pigeons, and if you get caught doing this, you could get up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. And this last law that we're talking about, it is for the state as a whole, but obviously Las Vegas is in Nevada, so it applies to Las Vegas, and I think it is a super interesting one. And this law is that Nevada has banned slavery twice. How did this happen? So, in 1864, Nevada was trying to become a state. They wanted to make a state constitution, be recognized by the United States, all that. And around the same time, the 13th Amendment, which is the amendment that abolished slavery, had just been passed in the Senate, and they were trying to be able to approve it and implement it on a federal level. So the president at the time, Abraham Lincoln, he told Nevada, sure, you guys can become a state, but only if you include that you are prohibiting slavery in your state constitution. So in July of 1864, just a few months later, the state constitution was prepared, it was ready to go. They were, meeting to approve everything, make sure it was all finalized, and so they included that they were against slavery and it would not be allowed in their state, just as a whole, as an overview of what their state constitution was going to contain. And then they also had a separate section for the Declaration of Rights, and they also included that they would prohibit slavery there too. So it's in there twice, and some people were along the mind of, well, we already have it in there once, we don't need it twice, let's take it out. But eventually it did end up getting left in because officials wanted to be like, no, this is legit, we are for real against it. It's in there twice because it's so important to us. I just think it's kind of a cool fact to be able to put out into the world, be like, oh, did you know Nevada banned slavery twice? Could help you win trivia someday. But anyway, those are some of the weirdest laws that I was able to find for Las Vegas or Nevada overall. I think they're super interesting. I love learning about weird laws and then kind of figuring out the history behind them, because some of them you hear and you're just like, what? How is that relevant? Why does that matter? Like the camel on the highway one. Super odd. But they have this long, detailed history that goes back many years, and there is a specific reason why they had to make the law in the first place. So let me know down below if you've heard any of these laws before, or let me know what the strangest law you have ever heard of was and what state it was for. I'm super excited to hear what you have to say, and while you're down there leaving that comment, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be awesome. And if you've subscribed already, thank you so much. I love being able to just sit here, hang out, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind to people, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.